Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to the Dom Trap. I am your host, your editor, your creator, your director, your producer, your executive producer, your best boy, your first, your last, and of course, your everything. It's been a while. It's, to say the least, it's been a while, but I don't really have an excuse for that. I will just say that life has just been happening, and it's been showing me that it definitely keeps moving. Things just have to keep going. That's just the nature of the universe and the nature of everything like that. But I'm not here to get existential or anything as far as, what I want to get through with this podcast. This is just really me letting you guys know that, I'm still here. I do want to get back to doing the things that I know and love, whether that be, this podcast or even streaming on Twitch or even really just talking to a lot of you, because I know that I've been away, to say the least. And I apologize for that. I know a lot of you have come out and, you've offered your hand, and I appreciate each and every last one of you. I may not have a good way of showing that because of what I've been going through, but I really do appreciate all of you. To start things off, I do want to say rest in peace to a near and dear friend of mine by the name of Bethany. She is no longer here with us today, but she is definitely here in spirit. I do feel like she's still here. She's just away, I don't feel like she's completely gone, which I think is a good thing. I don't feel like she's finished, so prayers for her family and, the rest of her friends. I will forever be sending prayers their way, especially Britt, if you're listening. But as far as everything else goes, even before then, it'd been a while before I got in front of the mic and camera to actually just talk about some really anything, whether it be movies or whatever, life, whatever. It's been a while. I haven't streamed on Twitch or anything, but it's not because I needed time off. I just kind of felt, I hate to say the word, absolutely hate to say the word, but I felt unmotivated. I felt like I lost sight of why I do this, or the reason behind me getting in front of the camera, behind the mic, and just talking. But then, I thought about it tonight. I talked to my boy Lex. Lex, shout out to you. I talked to Lex tonight for the first time in what seems to be months. And I'm not sure if it's been that long, but it sure seems like it. But Lex, I appreciate you, bro. I really do, man. I really do. I truly do. Lex basically told me why. Well, I'm not going to say he told me why, but he kind of explained the reason why he believes that he and I are friends. Granted, we do live miles and miles away from each other. And, I agree with what he said, of course, because it was a good point. And it really got me thinking about the relationships that I have with people in life. The fact that I do see myself as close to people that live on the other side of this country. I feel as close to them as people that I see, daily or every few weeks or so. And that's just absolutely crazy to me to think about. It's people that I didn't know who they were, this time. I mean, not even 2 years ago, but I am glad to call some of these people my friends. Jason is another one. Jason is another person that reached out to me and let me know, everything was, gonna be okay. Everything is just gonna, take time. And he also extended his hand and everything. So Jason, I appreciate you. Justin, I appreciate you. Greg, I appreciate you. Highly, I appreciate you. Like I said, let me know when you want me to come on your pod, man. Just hit me. I appreciate every last one of you that have, sent your prayers and condolences, because I truly do believe that they've worked. But to the next point, I don't want to stay on this topic too long. I just want to say thanks to all of you guys. I really do appreciate y'all for all that you do, especially in my quote unquote absence, possibly in you guys' life. I do just want to let you guys know that I'm here. I'm just trying to get back. But without further ado, let's get to the reviews, I guess. I do want to say this probably will be a very short episode. I have seen a lot of things. I have a lot to say about some of these things. I would like to kind of spread things out. I don't want to tell everything all at once. I just want to give my thoughts piece by piece. I want to get a little bit more detail. We'll give a little bit more detail about what I think about some of these films anyway. And TV shows in the future, because I do have a few shows that I've seen that are wrapping up that I would absolutely love to talk about. So one of the ones I want to start with today, to start off on a really good note, is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. If you know me, you know how I feel about Sega and Sonic. I love Sonic. Sonic was maybe one of the first real video games that I beat, I want to say, at a very young age. I remember having a Sega Genesis with not even like any cases for my games. I just had my cases in like a brown Bilo bag. And if you don't know what Bilo is just like a grocery store, like an Ingles or Publix or any other grocery stores that are still in business today, I guess you could say. But I had all my games just like laid out in the bag, which I wasn't going to complain about. I just had my games. I was a child. But I had Sonic 1, I had Sonic 2, I had Streets of Rage 2, I had Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, I had a game called Green Dog. I don't know if many of you know what Green Dog is. I might have to have a Green Dog appreciation episode one day. But yeah, I just had video games in a bag. And Sonic 2 was one of them. Sonic 2 was one of the ones that I actually made it all the way through. Even going as far as getting Super Sonic at the end. So that game in particular has a lot to do with the reason why I am as big into video games now. But when I saw the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I was just glad. I was just filled with excitement and happiness, mainly because the movie was good, but more importantly because Sega and Paramount, they went back and they changed the design of Sonic the Hedgehog. When I saw the original trailer, I was really confused. I was wondering how we got here, and it was just such an easy alley-oop. All you had to do was take 2D Sonic and make him 3D, but not make him look like some weird mole rat monkey type hybrid thing. But they actually went back and they changed it, thank goodness. And I can't be mad at it. I'm absolutely not even mad at it. I'm more happy than anything. The first movie, I always felt that it was good. I felt like it just did what it needed to do. It was a movie for new Sonic fans and old Sonic fans alike. It was just kind of like something to basically just get through and get out of the way, basically. But with this second movie, I was wondering if lightning could strike twice. And indeed it did. The second movie features Sonic, of course. It also brings back James Marsden and Tika Sumpter as, what are their names? They are Tom and Maddie Wachowski. They come back as the human characters in the movie. And Ben Schwartz, he returns as Sonic the Hedgehog. Jim Carrey returns as Dr. Robotnik. I was about to say Eggman, but that's a sensitive subject right now. So yeah, he's back as Dr. Robotnik. And the movie introduces a few new characters, two of those being Tails and Knuckles from the video games. Tails being Sonic's best friend who can fly with his two tails, and Knuckles being rival turned friend who has Knuckles, and he's very strong, and he's red, and he's an echidna. And Knuckles, to me, was just always a great character. To me, there was just something about a red echidna with dreadlock looking things that I was like, you know what? Knuckles is a cool character. So I always thought Knuckles was cool. And they did not disappoint with this movie as far as introducing his character, as far as the casting of Idris Elba as the character. That made everything way better. Way better. For obvious reasons, but it just works. He does a great job. It seems like he's having fun. All that to show that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 might possibly be one of the greatest video game movies of all time. I know that's a lot, but hear me out. We have had movies such as the Resident Evil franchise that possibly got worse with every new which possibly got worse with every new movie. We have the Assassin's Creed movie that came out. Garbage. We have the Tomb Raider movie that came out. Garbage. We've had Monster Hunter come out 2 years ago. Garbage. Mortal Kombat is different because I love Mortal Kombat. So this was more enjoyable than Mortal Kombat, depending on who you ask. I feel like this movie is definitely for a wider variety of people, where Mortal Kombat was more, if you grew up with the games, you'll love it. If not, you might possibly hate it. But yeah, and I'm not even going to bring about Super Mario, the old one that came out, Super Mario Brothers with John Leguizamo and Rampage with The Rock. I'm not even bringing those up. I am, but I'm not. But this might possibly be one of the greatest video game movies ever. Of course, it has to have its human elements. It has to have drama within the human space to kind of keep kids, wanting more of the Sonic and Tails adventures. But I will say they did a better job with that in this movie than they did in the first movie. In the first movie, a lot of it felt pointless, but in this movie, it did tie in to what we ended up getting towards the end, which, once again, I cannot be mad at because it actually makes sense for the most part. Natasha Rothwell's character, Rachel, I think her name is. This was her movie. This was her stand-up, her moment to show that she's not a lame human character in a movie about a blue hedgehog, a red echidna, and a yellow gold fox named Tails. And she kind of takes the initiative when it comes to the human elements of the movie. She is getting married to Shamar Moore, and it's hijinks on top of hijinks, but at the same time, these hijinks make sense, if you get what I'm saying. Because it turns out that characters aren't what they seemed to be. There are revelations within the movie, but it all, like I said, it comes around and it all makes sense. So you can't really be too mad at it. I didn't go into this movie expecting to have my socks blown away or to get some kind of crazy life lesson out of it. I came to this movie to enjoy seeing characters that I've known for most of my life go on an adventure, do some hijinks, maybe tell some lame jokes, and me walk out and be satisfied with that. And that's basically what I got. Granted, I want to say I even got more because that ending was that was the one. The ending was great. It even leaves off on a moment where you think you know where it's going, but a lot of people may not have any idea. But at least it it shows a character off that a lot of people love and know, and it has me a little bit excited. I'm excited to actually see where they go with things as far as this next plot line that they should be introducing, because in the game it gets a little bit, kind of, I don't want to say it's cliche, but it has some of the fish out of water elements, and I don't want to see that again in a Sonic movie, considering that we've basically seen it twice now in 2 different movies. So if you can find a way to basically get through that part and keep going forward from there, we might have another banger on our hands, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, I will have to give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 an 8 out of 10. Based on the fact that I got exactly what I was looking for. Exactly what I was looking for. I just wanted to see Sonic and Knuckles go at it. I got that. I wanted to see Jim Carrey do Jim Carreyisms. Be the crazy guy that's just zany and all over the place. I got that. I wanted to see things that made sense as far as the characters go. I got that. I wanted to see less of the human elements. I even got that. So I'm not mad at this movie at all. It's such an 8 out of 10 that is crazy. Now, moving on to something that is not an 8 out of 10. Let's I just want to talk about this movie because it's a meme movie. It's a movie that is a meme. It's a movie that shouldn't have been made. It's a movie that if someone says that they're a fan of this movie, you know that they're lying. You know that they're being untrue. And this movie is Morbius. And if you don't know what Morbius is a character, a Marvel character at that is basically a Spider-Man villain, even though he's more of an anti-hero. And he's a doctor with a disease. He's sick. No one knows why he's sick, but he is super duper smart. He thinks of a way to heal his sickness or cure his sickness, and he becomes a vampire. He cures his illness by becoming a superhero, anti-hero, kind of villain, kind of not, vampire. Now, this may make some sense. This may make no sense. But it didn't make a lot of sense in the theaters, if you get what I'm saying. Sense in the sense of money. You got it. It didn't make a lot of money compared to most other Marvel properties, I should say. Even Sony properties. It just wasn't there. This movie stars Jared Leto. Poor Jared Leto. As another character in a comic book film that's trash. Michael Morbius is in this movie is a trash character. You don't know what his motivations are. You don't really know much about him besides he was a kid that was sick. He doesn't really have much of a personality besides being smart and being fake in love with his assistant. Oh, that poor assistant. And it basically starts off with a flashback of a flashback. And it's just like, all right, what are we doing here? And then it flashes forward. And then you get another flashback. So you can tell automatically that this film does not know exactly what it wants to be. It wants to be... It's almost like it wants to be Spider-Man, but without Spider-Man and the fun and the charm and everything that makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. It just seems like this dude got powers. He's learning what his powers are. They got a fight at the end, and that's it. That's what this movie feels like. It almost doesn't even feel like a movie. It just feels like they were throwing darts at a board and trying to make a story out of it. Now, I know I said that it stars Jared Leto. It also stars Matt Smith from Doctor Who fame. He's also going to be in the new Game of Thrones spin-off series, which I have no feelings about. We'll talk more about that later. It also stars Tyrese, and Tyrese is a cop. And that's about it. Like, that's it. Just Tyrese is just a cop. Now, I remember hearing before the movie came out that his character was supposed to have a arm, like a metal arm or some kind of super high-tech arm, but that never came to be. That never happened. Which is crazy to think about, because like, why would you take away something from this movie that would make it cool and replace it with just another human being? I have no idea. But Tyrese does not have a metal arm. I sat in the theater waiting to see how Tyrese is going to get his metal arm to possibly calm down this vampire superhero anti-hero guy that is going around killing people, but he never got an arm. Tyrese just stayed a cop the entire movie, and I don't understand how a disappointing movie could be even more disappointing. He has the funny guy, Mexican Latino cop also. It's just a movie where it's just like I said, they throw darts at a board trying to make things make sense, but nothing makes sense. Nothing is fun. Nothing is humorous about this movie besides how bad it is. And that's why I recommend anybody see this movie, just to get your own opinion. You may hear from me. You may hear from Rotten Tomatoes. You may hear from Joe Schmo and the Schmo of regulars that this movie is bad. But I'd rather you watch it, get your own opinion. And that way we can all just hate on this movie together, to be honest with you. It's just, oh man, it's just bad. And it's shockingly bad. And like I said, poor Jared Leto, he just can't come up with a good movie to save his life right now. And it's a rough movie. He has a friend. I know this might be a slight spoiler, but maybe even not. But he has a friend in this movie who is also sick, that also becomes a vampire guy, a vampire hero, but he's more on the villain side. So that's like, he's the big bad, but there was absolutely nothing leading up to him being the big bad. For most of the movie, he's just sidelined to being, Michael Morbius' childhood friend. And then out of nowhere, he's just big bad. I'm going to hurt people because I want to hurt people. Hurt people, rah, rah. I'm a vampire type dude. It's just weird. It almost feels like a movie that should have come out in like 2009. That probably would have done numbers. This movie could have been Twilight, to be honest. If this movie came out in 2009, it could have probably been Twilight. Twilight Mania all over again. But man, this it's a bad movie in a very laughable way. Things just happen in this movie. So I have to give this movie a 2 out of 10. And the only reason it gets a 2 is just because, like, I found myself laughing at the movie because I'm wondering how some of this stuff made it through. I went to go and see this movie with my friend Jason, and he says that he said that Morbius is the better Batman movie this year, rather than the Batman. Now, I don't completely agree with that statement, but I completely see where he's coming from with this statement, because he didn't enjoy the Batman at all, really. But here we are, two Batman movies this year on two different sides of the spectrum. DC has a Batman movie, and Marvel / Sony has a Batman movie. So, with that being said, I think I want to stop there. I have seen many other movies. I have seen movies such as Ambulance. I've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've seen The Northman. I've seen Doctor Strange. These reviews will be coming soon. Hopefully sooner than later, rather. But again, I just want to say my apologies for my absence. I truly hope that it won't be another one as long as this one has been. Appreciate all of you for sticking in and asking how I'm doing, where's the pod, where are the streams. I promise things will be getting back to normal soon, hopefully. But it actually felt good getting back and doing this. So if you're listening to this, I appreciate it. Make sure you share. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube, and make sure you're subscribed on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this at. Thank you all. Once again, thank you all. And with that being said, I am your host, the creator of this podcast, the editor, the producer, the executive producer. I am your first, your last, and your everything. I go by the name of Dominique. Don't mistake it. And I just want to leave this podcast episode off with just saying that if you have anyone in your life that you love dearly, that are near and dear to you in your heart, please tell them that you love them. Please do. And I'm pretty sure that it makes all the difference. So once again, with that being said, I'm Ben Dominique. This has been the Dom Trap. Thank you for listening. Take care. Love always. Peace.